Okay, I'm outside at the minute, just thought I'd do a quick review. You might have seen the slideshow thing that I put together on this knife, but this is my first knife build. I have bought a Karasando blade before and made one with a piece of cherry wood. It wasn't a full tang, that was a stick tang knife. In fact, I've made two of those. I've made a Karasando kit knife, which I've got in there that I really like, with a curly birch handle, but for getting a piece of 01 tool steel and for having a go at making it myself right from scratch, the 4mm bit of steel, this was my first attempt. It's not perfect by any means, but for a first stab at making a knife like this, I'm really quite pleased with it. Obviously I've got a bone antler fire steel with a piece of elastic as a retainer. It's an 8mm fire steel. Haven't used it yet. Used fire steels, of course, just not this one. Really pleased with the sheath and how it's come out. I like where the belt loop kind of sticks to the shape of the handle of the knife there. I was pleased with the stitching as well. This is my first, well no, actually it's my second attempt at stitching, but this is the first with a flat waxed thread. So I was really quite pleased with how that's turned out. My first attempt was absolutely awful. You can probably see there's a little stamp there. This praying hands was a symbol that meant a lot to my grandmother. When I saw that Tandy made one for just over a £5, I thought I'd have it, and of course the front has got this deer's head logo. I hope it's showing up on there okay. Anyway, the knife itself, heat treated in a barbecue, which is not ideal. So in some instances, I don't know if you can see, there's some slight marking in the steel where somebody told me that it had been overheated. I can see it's reflecting a lot in the lens there, so I don't know if it's showing up at all. Certain bobbling on the blade, which actually I'm quite fine with. Now, as you can see, when I started my grind on this one, I really wanted a Scandi grind. This was my first attempt with 01 tool steel, and I got it wrong, so it's too deep. I think it looks good though. So what I've done is put a second bevel on. So this knife actually has two bevels. Obviously mistakes, but it has sharpened up quite well. The thing is, I don't expect this one to hold its edge as I would hope from future knives. Really happy with the shape of the handle that I decided on. You can see that. There's 5mm brass pins holding it together. I decided not to go with a belt loop, a hilt loop lanyard on this. So I'm really pleased with that. This here sits very nicely in the thumb. If you're doing any shaving, you want it to work, then that works quite well for me, and of course that way too. The finger sits nicely across that. So like I said, it's 4mm, it's got black liners. I got those ridiculously cheap off eBay. I'm not actually sure what they are. I probably wouldn't use them again. I'd settle for something a bit more expensive. It might come up a treat. Does look good. Very happy. Now obviously this was veg tanned leather, like the other video that I'm currently working on, where I'm trying to make my second knife, the one that looks a bit shaped a bit more like the Castron Forest knife. I'll be dyeing it the same colour. Really pleased with that. And sits in there a treat. One thing I have noticed, I don't know if it's show up on here, is that the handle has become a little bit two-tone, where after I'd oiled the handle, I probably put it into the sheath too soon, which certainly hasn't caused any issues with this, but from these things we learn. I'll pop that back in there. So that's it guys, that's my first attempt at making a knife straight from a piece of leather and a piece of 01 tool steel. I had a couple of sets of antlers kicking about, and I've had them in my garage for a long time, so it's nice to find a use for these pieces as well. So there we have it. Oh, the handle wood is, I don't know if I'm saying this right, bocote or bocote, B-O-C-O-T-E. Haven't actually heard of it before I ordered it off the internet, but pleased with that now. Thanks for watching, hope you like it. Let's see how things improve.